his
Book 10, Corpus Hermeticum, right after the passage, having illuminated all of his mind. So, I think all minds are created equal. It's the degree of illumination that the soul creates within the mind. Like the Luciferian light almost. Anyway, just a thought before I just start listening to this. Let's dive in.
soul, and by means of body draws it upward, and beauty changes his whole person into essence. For when soul has looked on the beauty of the good, my child, it cannot be deified while in a human body. Deification, Father, what do you mean? The changes that belong to any separated soul, my son. What do you mean by separated? In the general discourses, did you not hear that all the souls whirled about in all the cosmos, portioned out as it were, come from the one soul of the all? Many are the changes of these souls then, some towards a happier lot, others the opposite. The snake-like change into water creatures, the watery change into things of dry land, the dry land souls change into winged things, the aerial into humans, and human beings changing into demons possess the beginning of immortality. And so then, they enter the troop of gods, which is really two troops, one wandering, the other fixed. And this is soul's most perfect glory. But if a soul that has entered into human remains vicious, it neither tastes immortality nor shares in the good, but turns back and rushes down the road toward the snakes. And this is the sentence pronounced against the vicious soul. The vice of soul is ignorance. For the soul, when it is blind and discerns none of the things that are, nor their nature, nor their good, is shaken by the bodily passions, and the wretched thing becomes, in ignorance of itself, a slave.
Ignorance. What was that quote?
Discerns none of the things that are, nor their... And this is the sentence pronounced against the vicious soul. The vice of soul is ignorance.
The vice of soul is ignorance. Dwelling in ignorance, you have no idea which way is up or down. Because that's just facts. It's talking about evolution and de-evolution of the soul. Which way are you going? More vicious, more carnal. You know, act like a dog, you might come back as a dog, kind of thing. And totally.
For the soul, when it is blind and discerns none of the things that are, nor their nature, nor their good, is shaken by the bodily passions, and the wretched thing becomes, in ignorance of itself, a slave to vile and monstrous bodies, bearing...
To the degree of your ignorance, the same degree, like you identify with something like that much lower than yourself. Because to be ignorant is to not know what self is. Like, to no degree, right? So therefore you're identifying with the body. Therefore you're identifying with lower planes. And when you are identifying at lower planes, those planes have rulership over you. The body's a lot harder to face when you believe you are the body. The body's a lot harder to face, you know, like when you basically worship and glorify it, and you worship and glorify the things of this world, right? The things of this world are going to throw you for a loop. The things of this world are throwing you for a loop. Then the things of the spirit you have no time for.
the body like a burden, not ruling, but being ruled. This is the vice of soul. The virtue of soul, by contrast, is knowledge. For one who knows is good and reverent and already divine.
I heard Manly P. Hall in a recent lecture I was listening to. The pursuit of knowledge is the conquest of mystery. Knowledge is the conquest of mystery. And true knowledge, my friends, I don't mean knowledge of this world, because nothing of this world is true. Everything of this world is of the reflection. It's of the Maya, right? It's the light coming back to your vision. And all of it fades. All of it changes. This world is transient, right? Knowledge of this world is not knowledge. The conquest of mystery is knowledge, because you gain knowledge of that which is true, or get glimpses of it. You know what I mean? And as you like gain glimpses of what is true, you realize what you are walking through, and a greater realization of what you are. So knowledge is the virtue of soul, because a soul who has knowledge can see.
Who is this person, Father? One who says little and hears little. He fights with shadows, my son, who wastes time on talking and listening to talk. One neither speaks nor hears of God, the Father, and the good. This being so, that there are senses in all things that are because they cannot exist without them, yet knowledge differs greatly from sensation. For sensation comes when the object prevails, while knowledge is the goal of learning, and learning is a gift from God. For all learning is incorporeal, using as instrument the mind itself, as mind uses body. Both enter into body, then the mental and the material. For everything must be the product of opposition and contrariety, and it cannot be otherwise. Who is this material God, then? The cosmos, which is beautiful, but not good. For it is material and easily affected, and of all those things that feel, effect is foremost.
Wow. Write down right here, 633, book 10. Hermes Trismegistus is breaking down the law of polarity. How all things that are like created in opposition. Period. You need another polar point in order to have anything exist, except the original, the source. But anyway, then he's talking about this world, the cosmos, right? The material world and the universe in which science studies. This is the opposite pole of the heavens. Okay? And this world, also known as the Maya, it's 1111. That's 7%. That's kind of crazy, but anyway, this world, known as the Maya, known as the illusion, known as the reflection of the good, right, is beautiful, but it is not good. And I've been thinking a lot about this lately. Is this idea of what is God and what isn't God. And like at the highest level, yes, God is literally all things. Like we are in God's womb. But bringing it back down here a little bit, there is and isn't God in things. And I came to this around this idea of what is self and what is not self. Because there's always maxim out here like all is self, right? All is self. And like all is God. But if God is truth, right? If God is realness, if God is reality, then deviations away from truth would therefore be not of God, because it is not of his creation. It has been formed like elsewhere, right? It is therefore perishable. Like this realm, everything we see out here, it's transient. It's perishable, right? It comes from the creation of God, but it is formed by the architect. Okay, let's understand the architect. The architect of this world being like Yaldabaoth or Yahweh, I'm pretty sure on this now, is he who formed God. Formed this world, right? From the original emanation. And I'm not sure like the whole story and all of this stuff through all the Gnosticism and whatnot. But anyway, what I'm saying is, thinking in terms of self and what's not self, this is really crucial on this plane right now. This is really crucial on this plane because we must understand what are my thoughts, right? What am I? And what is not my thoughts? What should I do and what shouldn't I be doing, right? This is crucial because this plane is full of parasites. Parasites inside of you, parasites feeding on energy on all levels and all these different things. And on top of that, this this realm is backwards. It's full of lies, right? The master of deception, really. And because of all this stuff, it is absolutely crucial to have knowledge and illumination of what is self and what is God and what isn't God or what isn't good. Crucial. Or else you're going to be listening to voices that aren't yours in your own mind, in your own emotion, in your own being, right? And on top of that, yeah, so much more gone in there. I don't know. Just keep moving on.
But among the things that are, it is secondary and incomplete in itself. Once it has come to be, it exists forever, but it exists in becoming and comes to be forever, as the becoming of qualities and quantities. For it is subject to movement, and every motion of matter is becoming. The immobility of mind initiates the motion of matter in this way. Since the cosmos is a sphere, a head that is, and since there is nothing material above the head, just as there is nothing of mind below the feet, where all is matter, and since mind is a head which is moved spherically, in the matter of a head that is.
Right here, what it's all describing is there's no mind beneath the feet, only matter. And there's no matter above the head, only mind. Think about this. That is one way, or almost a sub-description of the Merkaba. The Merkaba and the upward arrow, right? The upward arrow of material moving towards mind, right? And crossing the downward arrow of mind or the heavens or the above, moving into material. And right there, we are the vessel, right? The downward arrow stops at our feet. The upward arrow stops at our head, the top of our head, right? Where they both come together, where there's a two-way flow, where the above and the below come together to create the sun being the sixth Sephiroth on the tree of life, the sun being the symbol of the Messiah, of the Christ, of the activated or awakened one, the sun being a symbol of he who is twice born. The sun is the greatest symbol, my friends. The emerald tablets, like the sun is the symbol that rests at the end of thy road. Anyways, the son is born of the mother and the father. The ma, the material, right? And the father above. The son is born of the mother and the father. Where does the sun sit? The sun sits on your solar plexus, or right above that. And there's a little bit of differing points on this. It could be some traditions reference heart, although I feel like heart may be more new age, because I'm pretty sure the heart in ancient times, the etheric heart was somewhere in the center of your back, right in the center where your rib cage comes down, and that's your solar plexus. The ancient Egyptians believed that the Ka was in your solar plexus, right? And the solar plexus is already obviously solar, which is sun, and is right in the center of your being, right? And all these different things point to the solar plexus, so I'm thinking it's that. Anyway, that's where the sonship is born. That's where the sacrament or the sacred Christic oil that goes up your cerebral spinal fluid and all this stuff comes from. It's where it arises from. So, anyways, the Ma, Emerald Tablet of Hermes quote right here. And slowly, slowly, with great delicacy and cleverness, it rises from the below up to the above, and the above back down to the below, therefore combining within it both the powers of the above and below. This is the operation of the sun. This is the pattern. Emerald Tablet of Hermes. Perhaps one of the most, like, famous esoteric map out there. Anyways, let's keep moving on with this. How far are we in? Wow, 60 minutes. That was freaking gold, but let's keep going.
Things joined to the membrane of this head, in which is the soul, are by nature immortal, as if they have more soul than body, because body has been made in soul. Things far away from the membrane, however, are mortal, because they have more body than soul. Thus, every living being, and likewise the universe, has been constituted of the material and the mental. And the cosmos is first, but after the cosmos, the second living thing is the human, who is first of mortal beings, and like other living things, has ensoulment. Moreover, the human is not only not good, but because he is mortal, he is evil as well. For the cosmos is not good because it moves, yet because it is immortal, it is not evil. But the human, because he moves and is mortal, is evil. A human soul is carried in this way. The mind is in the reason is in the soul is in the spirit. The spirit, passing through veins and arteries and blood, moves the living thing, and in a manner of speaking, bears it up. Some hold, therefore, that the soul is blood, mistaking its nature, and not seeing that the spirit must first be withdrawn into the soul, and then, when the blood...
Now we're just getting into the alchemy and different planes and source of your being. This is damn important to understand that the body rests within the soul, and the soul within, like, the mind, and the mind within the spirit, and the spirit within God. To understand that escalation of principle, really crucial, so you know which way you're going. Anyway, I'm going to end it there. This is Immortal Truth. Hit that subscribe button if you want to chat with me one-on-one. Link, shoot me an email, whatever. And hell yeah. This is the Mystery School. It's for the brothers and sisters out there. Let me know if you enjoy. Never stop seeking.